All right, we're back. We're back in it. Before I get back into the Eternal Golden Braid, which it's growing on me. The more I read it, I'm going, oh my God, I like this a lot. It actually, I literally just stopped reading it because it blew my mind too hard. I got into the girdle stuff, and it's just like, I never knew that I'm like, it like moves me to read about number theory, girdles, the implications of girdles incompleteness theorem. It's like, it's fucking me up. Like I literally put it down and just put my head down for 5 minutes and was like, what the fuck? Um, Yeah, this book does give you a good idea of what the guy did. Because I've been trying to research this for a couple months now and just feeling like a complete idiot. And finally, I'm like, oh, okay, stuff's clicking. Before I get into that, though, I don't want to jump into that just yet. The thing that I wanted to get into was just how much the vibe sucks right now in a general sense. Forget the news, forget this, that don't worry about that. I mean, it's obviously affecting the fucking vibe. But I'm talking about just like when you're out. I was in the grocery store recently, and it's like, good God, have we slid into a level of total public misery? And no one was being like mean or dickish or anything, but I was just like, I'm standing in line. It was kind of crowded. And I'm just kind of looking about, taking stock of the vibe because I had just got done our regular podcast. It was a Sunday. Obviously, I'd hit the Sebzi. I'm buzzing off dark chocolate. And aside from all those other things, I was just feeling good in general. I was like, this is cool. I'm about to go home, hang out. And I'm at the grocery store. I'm in line. And I didn't even notice it. Like, they're playing some, like, Earth, Wind, and Fire music. And I'm swinging my hips. I didn't realize I was doing this. It's really funny because someone was looking at me like, what the fuck? So I'm just kind of like, dun, 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 dun. Just moving about, wiggling my butt. And very, very mildly, but people knew what was up. And I'm looking about, and I'm like, good God, you just see everyone's face is covered up. But I'm just looking around, and everyone's just like totally despondent. Just like everyone's just sitting there, just like hunched, and just kind of like you just see their eyes just kind of like dead. That's all I see. I'm looking around. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I'm looking about the grocery store, and people are they seem defeated. They're just sitting there like more defeated than usual, just hunched, faces covered. Everyone's kind of looking around, kind of weird and nervous, So some people, they have their noses peeking out of the mask. Other people have them, the tight 95 things or whatever. But regardless, wear whatever you want. I don't care. I really don't. If you want a 95, wear a 95. If you want to no mask it, like you want to go Patriot mode, I respect that as well. I respect it all. I kind of respect Patriot mode if I'm going to be honest, but a little more. But again, if you're in one of those categories, you're nervous, do your thing, man. I really mean that. Do your thing. But, dude, just the level of just like people looking crushed was just it killed me, man. It fucking killed. I was sitting there like, dude, the vibe fucking sucks in here. That's all I could think. I was like, this blows. This fucking blows. I get it. People are scared. I get why. There's the mouth. It's like, this is like a two-headed beast. It's like 700,000 people died. Okay. Assuming, all the cases were accurately reported and you take away people who like just happen to have it, whatever. It's still, you could take away 200,000 or 300,000 of the deaths and you go, that's, it's still something. When people are like, oh, it's nothing. It's like, it's something. But giving it like, you're saying it is what everyone's reporting. It's 600,000, 700,000 deaths. Okay. Worldwide. That's the one head of it. That's one level of reality. And that's, for some people when they talk about this, that's where they stop. 700,000 people died and you don't care? You don't fucking care? It's like, yeah, dude. But like, you can pop up another level of reality and it's like, they're mostly like 75 or 80 years old. And that's not like a subjective statement. It's, you look at the graph, boom, it's geezers for the overwhelming most part. Well, there are some 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds. So it's like, I don't understand how you can't honor both sides of it. It's like, yeah, we got hit with something and it fucked a lot of people up. But the question that I'm saying, I'm sitting in the grocery store, is like, who gets to decide how much of our lives we give to this thing? It's like, it sucks that a bunch of people died. Nobody's being like, whatever, like, that sucks. And I if you really sat someone down and they were like, yes, it's like, my uncle died, No one's going to be like, fuck, like, everyone's like, yeah, that blows. But again, like, these aren't like kids. These are like pretty for the most overwhelming most part, if we're going to be all statistical and scientific, these are mostly really old people and people who have underlying health conditions or both. So the disconnect is like, again, how much of our lives are we going to give to this? You know, like, I didn't get to go to graduation for graduate school. I didn't give a fuck because I hated that place. But it's like, how many kids are going to not graduate from high school or have some weird fucking like Zoom wedding or Zoom? It's like, it hits a point where, you know, again, yeah, 1 year, whatever, a bunch of people are dying. Okay. What's the cutoff point? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, however long it takes. Okay. But then you have 100,000 people who overdose on opiates or whatever from 20. So we have 100,000 other deaths. Now, you know, were all of them caused by the pandemic? I would say no, obviously. But what if like 30,000 were strictly due to people being locked in their houses, which I would say is reasonable. You know, and that doesn't, what about suicides? Are they climbing up? So where does the death, you know, who gets to say what deaths are more important than other deaths? And like, are certain age ranges more important? Are we going to start kind of breaking things down like that? It's weird, dude. That's all I'm saying, man. It's like, you know, like, I don't know what I think people should do what they want to do. I'm not here to be like, it's all fake, do this, storm this, blah, blah. No. But this thing is not getting filtered through, let's say, multiple levels of kind of like discourse and nuance. It's just that, like, when you see people argue about this shit, there's multiple levels, but one of them's usually, well, 700,000 people died and you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, boo-hoo. Blah. You know, there's that. Then there's people being like, fuck, this is totally fake. So they'll argue back and forth. But then it's like, dude, forget, you know, I don't know. I can't, who knows? But all I'm asking is like, dude, how much of our lives are going to have to, however much as it takes. Okay, who gets to say that? Who gets to say when it's safe or not safe? Well, when the hospital reductions go down, blah, 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 blah. It's like, all right. Like, I guess. But also, okay, so then, like, why this? Why all the alarm around this specific disease? Why not like a militaristic intervention around the opiate epidemic, you know? Why didn't the National Guard go to like West Virginia and like shut down pharmacies and ban people from going to those factories and making, you just start wondering like, weird. But either way, my goal isn't to feed into any side of any partisan angle on this other than the creation and preservation of the vibe. Because again, the vibe fucking sucks. The grocery store was a bummer. Did I get bummed by it? No, I was untouched. But I carried it with me. I said, Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. And I had literally just read that statistic about 100,000 people from 2020 to 2021 dying from overdoses. 100K, dude. 100 fucking K. I talked about it a little on the podcast, but it's like, dude, if you're on opiates right now, fucking stop, dude. You're going to die. And this is the other thing too. So it's like, you know, how much of our lives do we give this thing? If you're somebody who before all this pandemic shit was struggling to find meaning, struggling to find a path, struggling to find purpose, to the point where you're willing to kind of take the gamble on like perks and oxys, or heroin, or whatever, like knowing fentanyl's out there and you're like, yeah, I'm cool. I mean, maybe you have a testing. I don't fucking know. But it's like, if you were already at that point where you're taking that risk, how many more people have joined that side of meaninglessness, pointlessness, side of things, now that like so many different levels of life enjoyment have been kind of put on hold? And you can go right back to that, yeah, well, people are dying. Sometimes we just got to do what we got to do for the collective. Okay. Well, what if a large part of the collective itself is like, no, I don't want to fucking do this. But what I'm really asking is like, how much is the vibe from all of this stuff contributing to the amount of people who are overdosing? And, you know, again, we haven't got the suicide statistics. At least I haven't seen them. How many people killed themselves in 2020, 2021? it's to the point where like I kind of get it. Like I could understand why people would be pushed to that side of things. You know, because it was already hard enough, and then it's like there's been so many avenues that got cut down, halted, or just kind of like grossly controlled to the point where I could see people being like, "Fuck this, I'm out." But suicide and opiates are two different things. But sticking with the opiate stuff, it's like, dude, if you're doing them right now, like I've said, it's very fucking lame, very fucking 2003 of you. But if you maybe you got on them, you can't get off them, whatever, fair enough. You have to vision quest it, dude. And this is like the cool spot I would say people on opiates are in, which is like, what? No, for real. It's like, dude, what do you have to lose? There's a decent chance, I wouldn't say total or definite, but there's a decent chance, again, 100,000 people died from overdoses. There's a decent chance you're just going to die from your stupid drugs. There's a good chance. So it's like, all right, so you try to get sober, you can't. You really, really should at this point, in my opinion. Again, do you? I'm throwing a last ditch effort out there, but it's like you are already operating on a pretty hard risk profile. Go on the vision quest, dude. Hit the high dose mushrooms. Hit the ibogaine. Hit the ketamine. Just drug your way out of drugs. If you clearly can't not drug your way out of drugs, okay, fair enough, dude. Now that you might die, like maybe we'll get sober for like 3 months and whatever, I got bummed out about my grandma or some bullshit. Gobble, dead. It's like, dude, vision quest it. Vision quest it. And also too, with the whole, I was thinking about this as well. With the whole issue of sobriety in general, it's like, dude, it stinks. It's watered down. It's bullshit. It is, in my opinion, it's a flicker of what it should be. Like when people in NA, AA are working towards sobriety, it's good that they're doing that, but it's like, I'm all about like the end state. What is the end state you're going for? Is sobriety just not doing drugs? You're going to be the same old dude with the same old emotional shit, but you're just going to not do drugs and like that's it? I think that's bullshit, dude. I think it's bullshit, and I think those programs, in my opinion, should definitely get you to that place. It's a good step, but there should be sober, and then there should be another level above that. There's sober, and then there's, call it enlightened or whatever. Like when you hear about those guys who've been in the program for like 30 years, I think in the Infinite Jest book, they call them like the crocodiles. It's like, have those dudes just reached, like quietly, obviously, have they just reached another state? Like, what is it about those dudes who have been sober for 35 years, who keep showing up, keep staying in the program? Why are they even in it? They're sober. Well, it's to help other people, obviously. But when you think about the sobriety stuff, for me and a lot of other people, it's kind of like nobody wants to do it on some level because it's like you kind of feel like a cornball. When I think of like sober dudes, I think of dudes with like a flannel tucked into jeans, like sitting, drinking a Pepsi in a bowling alley. Like, it's like, doesn't seem all that cool, but it's like if you remove the word sobriety, it's like obviously you're not going to do drugs. That's the goal, but it's not the end goal. If you remove sobriety with like, I don't know, something kind of like a more enlightened state. So like, you think of yourself more as like in that Star Wars movie where like they have the girl Jedi and she finally sees the old Luke Skywalker and he's just like chilling on a mountain by himself. Like the sobriety plus, or like the end state, should be not just the ability to not do drugs, but the ability to truly remain alone with your thoughts and feelings, to fully master your mind space. That's a vastly different thing than just like not doing Xannies for 1 month. And that's, in my opinion, it's like, how do you get people on that track to like kind of push beyond these more like simplistic kind of off on good boy, bad boy things where it's like, again, if you want to do drugs, but you are tinkering, especially with the opiates and not even with the opiates. Now they press fentanyl into every kind of pill and powder or whatever. You're really fucking rolling the dice. And I don't know anyone I know who does coke who's like pumped that they're doing coke. Most people are kind of like, I wish I never did this shit, but whatever. So can you cultivate a mind space that's better than being on those drugs? Now, I can't say I've never done coke. I have done opiates, but like they just weren't I'll be honest, they didn't grab me. I did them. I'm like, yeah, whatever, this is cool. But I do like smoking weed, and I will say, like, I've gotten to places with meditating where it's like I really can take or leave weed. It's for me, it's one of those things where it's like I think it's like I genuinely think it's helpful, and I could actually argue that it is, and back that up with a bunch of stuff. But I don't know many people who can argue that their use of opiates, coke, Xannies are that helpful. Now, again, I'm sure there's wiggle room within that, but everyone I've ever met, I genuinely don't know anyone who can make that argument. And there's maybe people with Xanax, like, oh, I need it. So, okay, whatever. But I have not met someone yet who takes it regularly and like, yeah, I have no problems with this. It helps me a lot. So that was my, that was just a stupid rant. I'm sorry. It's really dumb, but like that was something, my mind in the grocery store got impregnated with all of that stuff. And it was just like, I had to rush home and deliver it. But yeah, man. So that's the goal, dude. That's the goal. And when I say this, it's like the vibe sucks. You can't be a vibesmith unless you've mastered your own, or at least started to, or gained some sort of proficiency in kind of like mastering your own mind space. And your mind space is just, it's just your circumstance. It's your current circumstance, external circumstance, internal circumstance. It's your past, your present, all your potential futures kind of swirling around your head and currently going on. That's your mind space. I do think the way out of like the toxicity of all the internet programming, all the partisan bullshit, all of the corporate propaganda, the fentanyl, the drugs, the what am I doing with my life? The world's evil. I'm not. Who knows? It's so much to take in. The levels of shit the levels of information have been dumped on us with the internet. Then we try to like, where do I fit in with that personally? How do I do? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, in my opinion, this is a thing that's helped me. That's all I can say. I don't want to be prescriptive or be like, you have to do this. No. But if I'm being honest and someone were to ask me like, what was the most helpful stuff? It was this ability. It was starting to try to learn this ability to truly master your own mind, to remain alone, like I said, with your thoughts and feelings and whatever pops up within that whatever urges, whatever behavioral patterns and, like the shitty things you want to do that your mind justifies to tell you like, yeah, you should do that thing. To face those things, see them, and to not turn away from those things or try to act like they don't exist or shut them down or explain them away, but to let those things that bother you, even going back to like, yeah, I want to kill myself, to like really in the Thich Nhat Hanh, I can never say this guy's name, Thich Nhat Hanh, in that book, I think The Heart of Buddha's Teachings, maybe. The one thing, and it's such a simple phrase, it's just, for some reason, it made things click for me. Rather, when like, say anger pops up. Oh, sorry, the phrase was, I should say this, the phrase was to look at those things deeply. Don't run away from them. Don't rationalize them. Don't use those feelings to blame other people. Just see what's coming up with you. First, accept that it's there. Don't act like, oh, this doesn't bother me. I don't care. Like, no, this is a thing I'm experiencing right now. Again, within my mind space, whatever, my thoughts, my feelings, whatever that is. This is definitely occurring right now. I'm not going to try to shut it down. I'm not going to try to explain it away or blame it on something else. I'm going to look deeply into it. Meaning, like, say I get angry. Say I'm with my wife. Say she pisses me off. The feelings of anger come up. Maybe I have an idea to say something to like, win or get her back in that moment. Rather than doing that, and this is what it means to kind of, to me at least, to kind of conquer your mind space, which is just like a cool way of saying being mindful now that I think about it. You look into the anger deeply, rather than skipping that step and being like, you fucking did this, and you didn't clean the kitchen last week, remember? And you sound like a fucking idiot. Because you just literally go, I'm pissed off right now. here's a couple options my mind's presenting me to say or do, but I'm going to continue to look at this anger. And as you do this, as you slow yourself down and you look into this anger, you look into your sadness, rather than trying to be like, why me, or explain it away or blame it, you just keep looking at it. You just keep feeling it and letting it just, you go full force into it rather than trying to like, I need a beer, I need a this, I need a that. You just sit with it and just look at it. You look deeply into it. And a lot of the times, what emerges out of this is a way more viable and workable solution for yourself and everybody around you. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying like learning how to master your mind space. It sounds very easy in words, but next time you get like infuriated and you start to practice this, it's like, it's really like every single cell in your body's like, yes, let's do this thing. And you have to cultivate a part of yourself that goes, no, slow down, brother. Same. I would assume this applies to like the urge to getting high. You know, that rolls up in you. Oh my God, I got to get rid of this. Oh, I have my 30-day chip. Oh my God, I'm going to face everyone. Oh, but I really want to do the thing. Oh, don't do the thing. Don't do this. It's like, dude, sit with the urge. It's just an urge, man. It's not going to kill you. Just let it be. Watch it. Get a sort of curiosity about that thing. What is that? What are some of, look deeply into it. Don't just shut it away like we're saying, like, oh, I'm not allowed to do that. I have to be a good boy. No. I can't do that. What brought up that urge? What were you thinking about beforehand? Just sit, pause, and look into that thing for as long as you can. So will you get it perfect? No. But in my opinion, it has helped me get a lot better. And it also, a lot of the times when you look deeply into things, you do see yourself ultimately, which your mind kind of protects you from. You eventually do kind of see yourself as part of the root cause of you experiencing whatever that thing is. Nobody ever really wants to swallow that pill because it's a tough pill to swallow. But in my own experience, I almost hate to admit it, most times I'm angry, most times I'm this. When I really look into the situation, eventually my own role in creating that situation comes up and I go, God damn it, son of a bitch. And you got to look at it like, this is the way it helps me to look at it. You view yourself as like a sum of parts run by different levels. Like think of yourself as a company. Say your life is chaos, it's out of control. Chances are yourself, thought of as a company, is being run by like that shitty, complaining employee who's like never even on time and always has all these excuses and kind of fucks off all the time, but at the same time is always like, fucking boss doesn't know what they're doing, fucking idiot. Fuck, man, this is so dumb. I can't believe we're doing it this way. This is stupid. Oh, it's not my fault. We shouldn't have done that here. It was that always blaming shit on everybody else, never really gets anything done, knows more than everybody else. And yet for some reason, it's like, well, if your boss is so stupid, you're the dickhead that's continuing to show up to work for him every day. Like if he's so dumb, how does he pay you every week? Could you go garnish those money? Blah, 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 blah. The point is, when we're not owning up to the stuff within ourselves that's popping up, we're trying to explain it away, act like it's not there, all of this stuff, we're not taking full responsibility for what's occurring within ourselves and dealing with it head on as if like from a position like, I got this. I'm not going to say I have control of this, but like I can handle this. There's a difference. It's like if you think of yourself as a company and you're like, you're having problems, you're running into the same things over and over and over again. It's, in my opinion, again, this is from my own personal experience, it's because you're not fully processing the things that are coming into your field of awareness. You're either repressing them, you're blaming, you're projecting, you're kind of keeping that shitty, you're letting that shitty employee of the company run the show, when in reality, you need to fire that dude and tap into the CEO. And the CEO can handle every aspect of everything popping up, but there's just a difference in thought. Maybe that's stupid, but like that kind of thinking helps me. And maybe here's another way to think about it. Like I went back to the Luke Skywalker example, where like the girl Jedi, she's like running around, she's all fucking, oh my God, everything's going crazy. She's done well, but from what I remember of the movie, I could just be making this up. But there comes a point where it's kind of like things are getting fucked, and she goes to this like mountain, this misty mountain, and who but Luke Skywalker's just chilling, dude. And like if you watch it, Luke Skywalker doesn't come down like, what the hell are you doing? I was waiting for you. This is all your fault. The Empire's taking control. I was sitting here. I was wondering where you guys were. No, Luke Skywalker just sits there fucking calm and quiet. It's just like, welcome. Welcome to my mystical mountain, dude. I've been hiding here for 75 years just working on my fucking mind space. And I think I didn't watch the rest of it, so I don't know what happens, but you get the idea. That's why when Luke Skywalker comes down off the mountain, everyone's like, fuck, dude. Fuck. It's all quiet and calm, and it's like, damn, that guy just sat there by himself for 60 years. Instantly, you're just kind of like, damn. And he's not like all fucking weird, freaking out and spazzing. He just comes down all calm like, I've been waiting for you. Obviously, it's a movie, but it's like, how can you tap into even a shred of that kind of patience and foresight and self-ownership? That's the idea. That is how once you start doing that, taking a realistic stock, stop being your own fucking PR person. Everyone's quick in it. I do the same thing with the Fauci stuff, dude. I'm like, fuck Fauci, dude. He needs to fucking own up for the lab leak and fucking gain of function research. Maybe so. What don't you own up to in your daily life that you need to own up to as well? So like, again, we need to control the vibe. We need to go inward. We need to own up to all of our weird stuff. We have it. Trust me, we have it. I know I do. And it is a bitch to deal with it head on. But it's also extremely helpful and extremely useful. And if we're going to take on the vibe, we can't be the person coming down the mountain like, where were you? Fucking, that's why fucking girls shouldn't be Jedis. I'm just saying. Skywalker doesn't do that. He comes down in a robe and just is like, what's up? Again, vibe sucks. We got to get the vibe up. Nationwide, hopefully worldwide. But you got to master your own mind space. You got to control your own vibe. And we're up against a lot, dude. Just know that. If you're overwhelmed, it's okay. We're up against a lot of fucking shit. We're handling way more information. Way more sensory excitement and titillation than anyone who's ever lived before, ever. So just know that, dude. And in the meantime, we have all these archaic, inner body systems that are trying to constantly rank ourselves and where do I fit in this? Am I the best? Am I the best? Am I the best? Am I the best? Am I the worst? All that shit's still going on. Our little lizard brain is just fucking melting down in the face of just like global connection, multi-levels of propaganda from different governments, different corporations. It's fucking nuts, dude. But if you master your mind space, you can literally, like when the Jedis just fucking move around bullets, like, damn, how's that guy do that? It's because they're a fucking Jedi, dude. They've mastered their mind space. They can control the vibe because they fucking harnessed themselves. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I did this and it's no. But when you start to do this, seriously start to do this, it makes a big difference, dude. It makes a big difference. You know what? We'll cover Girdle next time. There's too much, dude. There's too much. The vibe sucks too bad right now. I'm not saying that in a defeated way. I'm not saying that at all. I think there's a clarion call. I saw the vibe the other day in the grocery store. And this is Whole Foods too, dude. Like, I go to the fresh grocer sometimes. The vibe has been sucked in the fresh grocer, dude. It's fucked up in there. But Whole Foods, people are bopping around like, yeah, okay, woo. Check out my sugar. It's from fucking some place that's poor and I'm helping them. People are pumped. But nah, man, it's even Whole Foods, dude. The vibe, it was a fucking fresh grocer vibe in Whole Foods. And I was like, whoa, dude. Whoa. Oh my God. This has reached a critical mass. Or maybe I was just kind of stoned in Whole Foods. I don't know. But, guys, come on. Do you want to fix the vibe, dude? Do you want to keep giving in to all the fucking machinations of all the fucking tech companies and the political parties and all this fucking info that makes you hate your cousin for some reason and da. No, dude. No. All right, well, that's it. We'll get back into the book club stuff. I didn't know I'd talk for that long, but that's basically the gist. Yeah, so that's it. Again, sorry to rant. Have an awesome day. God bless.